Hello. This is going to be my first attempt at doing mixed media. So if you are looking for some ideas for starting your mixed media, then I definitely have some for you on this video today. So the first thing that I'm going to do is kind of go through my stash and see what I have that I can use for this project. So if these are the types of videos that you like, planning, organizing, lifestyle, and of course a little bit of crafting in there, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And don't forget to also hit the notification button so that you'll be notified when more videos like this one come out. So first of all, I covered the surface that I was going to be using, and then like I said, I just went through everything to try to figure out what I was going to use because this was my first time. I've been watching videos. I had no idea, but I think you just have to get started. So that's my number one tip for you, is just to just pull out whatever you have and just go for it. So what I decided to do was to actually make a cover for one of the journals that I had, and I did that with brown paper bag. So I'll have a different video, a separate one that shows exactly how I made this cover. Now, I also wanted to make sure that the pages didn't stick together, so I used another piece of the brown cover in between so that it wouldn't get all messed up. So now I'm putting on some gesso, and to my surprise, the gesso wasn't clear because this was the first time I purchased it, and it actually had a matte finish. So I was kind of disappointed about that because I wanted the brown paper bag to kind of show behind it, but it all worked out in the end. Now you saw me taking out a separate notebook as well, and that separate notebook is what I'm going to be using for any extra media that I have, and it is a media journal. So I did use the gesso on those pages as well, and I'll go back and do a separate project with those. So that's a great way to use up any extra medium that you have, is to have an additional book, and you can use that up. I actually got that from a lady's channel. Her channel is Inky Quill, and she has dubbed her book the Use It Up Journal. So I'm going to use that too. That's my Use It Up journal. And actually the pages on that came out really pretty too. So I can't wait to do some more stuff with that one, but that will be a separate project and a separate video. So I just kind of picked out some acrylic colors that I had, and I picked out a yellow I put down a green, some blue, and then I put down some white. And so far I wasn't really happy with the colors that I chose. I wanted to kind of make this kind of summery, but again, I don't know what the heck I was doing. So I just went ahead and I just rolled with it. And then I used a heat gun to actually dry things up. So I wanted to tone down the colors a little bit. So I took out my ink pad, which was just a brown color, and I just used some cotton balls to actually dab it on because I don't have any of those fancy dabbers. And so I just use that, and it works pretty good for distressing the paper. So I put just a little bit on there. So the next thing I wanted to do was use some kind of modeling paste on here. And I only have a few stencils. So I had this one that had some stars. And of course, this was the first time that I used it. And I should have just poured the actual paste onto the stencil, but I didn't. So the first part of the stencil came out just a little bit messy. It wasn't too bad. So the second part that I put on with the gold, that one came out pretty much as I wanted to. And because I didn't clean the stencil off, it had like a hint of that pink color in it as well. And I like the way it turned out. At first, when I put the modeling paste on, it's kind of metallic color and it was really shiny, but once it dried, it muted down just a bit. So that was nice. So now I'm looking for some stamps that I can use on here as well. And I kind of wish I had stamped before I put the modeling paste on. So that may be a tip for you as well. And that way the stamp can act as a background and you don't have to try to stamp things over the top. So I went through my stamps and I decided I was going to put selfie or me and mine or something like that because this was my selfie journal. And I decided to just use me. And once I figured that out, I just went to town with the stamp. And I just used that same brown stamp because I like that one because it kind of gives the whole journal kind of a vintagey kind of look. So even though my original plan was to have this so that it was more of a brighter color, it actually ended up looking more vintage, and I still liked it and I enjoyed the process as well. So again, I'm just going in and I'm just putting the MEs on here for me, and I'll slow it down so that you can see what it looked like so far. So this is what it looked like, but of course, me being me, that's not going to be enough. We have to go further on this. So the next thing that I did was I was still attempting to use that and sign, but I just knew at this point it wasn't going to fit in. So I decided to try some of my Heidi Swap shines on here, and I did that off camera, and I actually put some transparent on and you couldn't see it, and then I put a little bit of pink and I also put some gold on here, and I like the way that those came out because that gave it like a little bit more texture. And then I took the stamps back out and I took the camera stamp, which I love that stamp, and I just started stamping all over because it just didn't seem balanced with just the me stamp on here. So I actually added the cameras on. And one technique that I like that I use with the stamps is to kind of stamp things off of the paper. So it looks like this came from one big piece of paper and then you cut it. And I like that a lot. So again, I used the heat gun to dry everything up. And this is what it looks like so far because, she's not done just yet. So I decided to kind of distress the edges as well, and that kind of gave this whole thing a little bit of a frame, and it looked like this paper was intentional when I put it on. So I made sure I did the spine as well, and it looked very beautiful when it came out. So this is now the finished product, and it has lots of texture and it has lots of depth and it has lots of me in it. And I really enjoyed doing this. This was actually my first mixed media project, and I would have to dub this as a huge success. And so you can see on the inside, this was from a grocery bag that I used, and then the back, you can see how that looked, and I'll be doing the back as well. But I didn't want to do everything at the same time because, I want to kind of spread things out when it comes to doing my mixed media. So if this is the type of video that you enjoy, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up. I'm going to give it a thumbs up because I really love this. And also don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And if you have, I just wanted to say thank you. So with that, I'm going to say love, peace, and hair grease. From your sweet lotus blossom and lovable Lizzie, have a fantabulous day and enjoy life. Get those paints out, you guys. Get those paints out.